The little book of Philippians talks about joy 14 times in 4 chapters. That's 3.5 references per chapter. There should be a little red flag going off in our minds that this is important. By the way, you can see another video on Philippians about making joy complete here. Now, knowing that joy is such a central part of Philippians, let's look at chapter 2, verse 12. It says, "Therefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." What an odd verse in a book about joy, right? I mean, what exactly does work out your salvation with fear and trembling have to do with this message that seems to be about joy? Well, Paul is instructing us to do what Jesus did. And here's a video that goes deeper into Jesus' humble nature. For now, we can summarize these verses like this: humble yourself. If Jesus could leave heaven and humble himself, then I should be able to humble myself too. The problem is, many people read verse 12 and assume that working out salvation means that we're trying to exalt ourselves. Hey, look at me, look at how great I am, how I deserve to go to heaven. But remember, everything before verse 12 has been about humbling ourselves to experience the true joy in Christianity. Why would Paul suddenly change his tune? Well, the answer is he doesn't. He doesn't change his message at all. I may sound like a broken record, but Paul is continuing that thought of, if Jesus could leave heaven and humble himself, then I should be able to humble myself too. Now, when I work out my salvation with fear and trembling, I'm not exalting myself. Rather, I'm submitting myself to God. When we obey God, we're humbling ourselves. When we strive for unity and we seek humility and we serve others, we are emptying ourselves of our vainglory and we're filling ourselves with true joy. James chapter 4 verse 10 says, "Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up." There will be an exalting. Just like when Jesus went back to heaven in an exalted nature, there will be a time when God exalts us. Let him do that. You work out your salvation with fear and trembling, meaning humble yourself and put Jesus and others before yourselves. Philippians 2:12 reminds us that obeying God is how we possess that attitude, that mindset of Jesus. It is a joy to obey God. And obviously we have to have the proper attitude and spirit about how we obey. Consider Luke 17:10, which says, "So you too, when you do all the things which are commanded, you say, 'We are unworthy slaves. We have done only that which we ought to have done.'" So have joy and humble yourself and obey God. And don't worry about being validated for your efforts by others. God will exalt us someday. So for now, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. And always remember, God loves you very much, and I do too. See you soon. Hey, thanks for watching. I want you to tune in next week for a special follow-up video to this. It's going to be kind of brand new for me, and I'd love to have your feedback on it, because there was a lot of stuff in Philippians chapter 12 that I didn't get to talk about in this little bitty video. So I'd like for you to come back next week where I'm going to have an interview with myself and kind of go through some of those things that we didn't have time to talk about today. So until then, have a great day. Watch this video 100 times, subscribe to it, and watch everything else that I've got on YouTube as well. And come back next week whenever I interview myself. See you later.